screen on the 500 JAMB questions you must know in biology before writing this exam 2026. I'll be going live on two of my channels, both the Day2 tutorial and also here at Majesty Easy World, right? So it will take us a little time to get in touch. We will be answering your questions, and then there will be questions that will be going on the background. So let's tune into the next to Majestic tutorials, because we want to go live there also. Okay, so as one person is there, you're welcome. Okay, you have 3 persons joined. You're welcome, you're welcome. Send in your questions if you are on the WhatsApp channel. We'll start with biology, and then after that we do chemistry, 45 minutes each. So keep your questions coming. I'm seeing them. I can see the screen live. All right, let's be patient for us to go live. We said this should be by 8. Okay, welcome to Majestic tutorials. Yeah, then have to give me some time to share the link to the WhatsApp group so at this point your questions is the advantage for being live. I'll handle the past question, give you cheats on how to answer questions and how to manage time. Okay, I'm trying to connect back to the other channel. So those that are live, yeah, these are the questions that we'll be using. To wait for your own question. Okay, I saw this 2021, and I think I liked the questions were good. Questions were nice. Okay, I have not shared it to that WhatsApp group. So these questions will serve us for the day. Now, I hope for those that are live watching, the screen is clear, of course. All right, we are here now. Here we move. Please send in your questions at Daily Science Quiz. Let me write the... If you are sending question, if it is a question you cannot type, you send it through Daily Science Quiz 4, Daily Science Quiz 4 at gmail.com. So we'll receive the question and open it here for you to see live. All right, so now we move to this biology questions here, 2021. I just saw it. This is they say Eohippus, the Eohippus 40 million years, Mesohippus 30 million years, Then 15 million years, look at where we are supposed to focus on. They are showing us the number of the number of toes. At this 40 million years, we can see 1, 2, 3, almost 4 of the toes, or 5. Here we can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here is reduced to 3. So now it's reduced to 1. So what do we call this process? They say, what phenomenon is exhibited above? The phenomenon exhibited above is evolution, the gradual change. Okay, this is how horses evolved from digitigrade to unguligrade. So they walk on their toes. We call it unguligrades. Unlike other animals that walk on their, we humans, we are plantigrades. We are plantigrades. Plantigrades, meaning we walk on our whole foot. All right. Then for lion and cat family, they are digitigrades. Digits, they walk on their digits. So digitigrades. So they are the fastest. But we that walk on our whole toe are the most balanced. All right. So we move to the next question. Remember that the question here demonstrates evolution because this thing evolved gradually from the geological or historic timetable. The next question says the appearance. Remember, if you send any question, I'll see it live on the screen, right? The appearance of the one-toed horse is associated with this one-toed horse that we have today is actually modified for running, and you run only on land. So it is actually associated with what? It is modified. They said appearance of the toad is associated with dry land. So because it's modified for running, so you don't run in wetlands. Then we say the diagram here says, in the diagram above, identify the parts which is the vas deferens. Vas deferens is the same thing as sperm duct. Remember, the aim is to answer about 500 questions. Last time we answered about 18. So this becomes now 19, 20. So I'm moving to 23. So we might reach up to 50 questions before today's live stream will end. All right. If you are live, give this video thumbs up. All right. So let's move on. They say in the diagram, this is the male reproductive system. So I is showing us urine. Can label before we look at the question itself. I is showing us the ureter coming from the kidney to the urinary bladder, while this one is automatically the urinary bladder. II is actually showing us the prostate gland, the prostate gland. Why III is showing us the sperm duct. That is it. That's the vas deferens. IV is showing us the epididymis. Epididymis. That is where sperm are stored temporarily. So the III is showing us epididymis. Then we say, in the diagram above, identify the part which is the vas deferens. So the part that is vas deferens is II, which is option C. All right. We move on to number 4 question. In the diagram above, identify the part where the sperm is stored. The sperm is stored in this IV, which is actually the testis or the epididymis, but it's showing more of the epididymis than it is showing the testis. So over here we have the part labeled IV. Maybe I clean here so that you can see where the part labeled IV. Remember to bring in your questions for those that are live. So we are looking at D is the correct answer. Now, number 5 says the probability of a woman producing X chromosome is, the probability of a woman producing X chromosome is nothing but 100%. 100%. Why? Because we have 2 sex chromosomes, which is the X and Y. We have 2 sex chromosomes, which are the X and the Y chromosome. If they appear, the X is taller than the Y. if you see this type of karyotype where the last pair appears like this, then this should be a male for the sex chromosome. But when the last pair of chromosome appear like this should be a female. And the tall one is called X. If you watch here, we are seeing two tall ones. That is XX. But the short one here is Y. That's why males are XY. All right. So the probability of having X chromosome in a female is nothing but 100%. They cannot have Y. Therefore, females don't have all it takes to determine the sex of a baby. So it becomes ignorant to tell a female or your wife to give you a male child. No, you, the man, should give her a male child instead, because you have the ability to donate both the Y and X. So masculine features, that's the features of being male, is located on Y, but normal default setting is on X. So I have a detailed video on that which I'll upload. Remember, the aim is to help you score 370 and above in the forthcoming JAMB examination. If you keep following me, every Friday we come here live and do our live stream. Even if you are finding registration difficult, you try to join our WhatsApp group for academics, which is +234 7065166217. All right, let's go back to that question. So I've answered number 5. The probability of a woman producing X chromosome is 100% because she cannot give any other thing except the X. The white layer of the connective tissue protecting the eye this is called choroid. No, it is the sclera. Remember, the eyeball is made up of the 3 layers. The innermost layer is called the retina, then the middle layer is called the choroid, and then the outer one that protects the eye is the sclerotic layer or the sclera. So in case if this happen to be the human eye, it appears like this, where we have this, then we will have layers. The first layer is the sclera, then the middle layer is the choroid, then the choroid layer comes to form the iris, which is the dark layer, the iris and the ciliary muscles, and then we have the retina, which is the innermost layer. Then, to show the departure of the nerve called optic nerve, we will have this. Right? So just because of time, but any medical student should be able to, if you can draw, you won't have problem. As in, when they draw for you to identify, you will identify well now. So this one forms the cornea. So the sclera forms the cornea, while the choroid layer, no shading in biology, but this middle layer is the choroid layer, which is the dark pigment. All right. So if you look at this now, that's where we can have our eyebrow and all this. So it's a rough sketch anyway, but to teach you, this is the sclera or sclerotic layer. Then this one is the choroid layer. Choroid, that's the dark layer. If you look into your friend's eye, you will see the black part. That black part is that you are just viewing the choroid layer of the eye. Okay, then remember that the retina is the photosensitive part of the eye where images are formed. All right, so if they ask you where are images formed in the human eye, you say is the inner layer called retina, because it's composed of cells known as rods and cones. These are the light sensory cells. So based on this, the level of organization of the human eye is organ. And this organ is made up of tissues. So this sclera is a tissue, this choroid is a tissue, and this retina is also a tissue. And the retina is composed of the light sensory cells called rods and cones, which detects different shades of light of different what? Intensity. So the job there is which part of the eye absorbs excess light entering the eye. You say choroid layer. Remember, even in physics, black surfaces absorb light while bright and white surfaces reflect. So excess light entering the eye is absorbed by the choroid layer, preventing internal reflection. That's why we don't have eye shine like other animals, that's hunters. When you flash torch in their eye, it reflects back because they don't have this well pronounced choroid layer to absorb excess light. So I've indirectly taught you the functions of the three layers of the eyeball: sclera, protection, and the sclera forms the cornea anteriorly. Then the middle layer is choroid layer, which absorbs excess light, is the dark pigmented layer. It contains melanin, and then it prevents the internal reflection of light, preventing eye shine. Then retina is the photosensitive, where images are formed. And then this point where the optic nerve exits is called the blind spot. Okay, you stay on. I'll give you an experiment of blind spot where you open your eye, you will not see anything. That is surprising and unbelievable. When you do an experiment of that, you see it live. And remember, the parts of the retina where these rods and cones are highly concentrated is called the yellow spot. Yellow spot. That's where we have the highest concentration of the rods and the cones. But the part that doesn't have any rod or any cone is the blind spot. So if images are focused here on the blind spot, you will not see it. Then for you to have the best vision acuity, that's the best vision ever, you need to focus it on the fovea. So most times if you see yourself, they will give you a pinhole for you to look through that pinhole. They are trying to focus the image particularly on the fovea, or what we call the macular yellow spot, for the best acuity in vision. All right, so we go to the question. I think I've done little justice to the mammalian eye. We continue. You have not seen any of your question coming. The next question says mycorrhiza refers to, mycorrhiza is an association between the roots of higher plants and fungi. And the relationship between the roots of higher, that's exactly option A. Don't confuse mycorrhiza with leaching. Leaching is association between, let's check it, they will mention it here, algae and fungus. They are all plants and fungus, but the difference is that algae is not a higher plant, or what we call algae. Algae is not a higher plant, it's a primitive plant, not properly developed. Okay, so in this case, the answer is A. Don't confuse leaching with mycorrhiza. It helps the advanced plant to absorb water, and the plant provides food for the so-called fungi. The next question says number 8, territory formation in agama lizard enhances territory, warding off every other male controlling that particular area. Let nobody come in, I am in charge. So that is territoriality. All right, so if they said what does it help in agama lizard, that's where we talk about the dominant male. That's the only one that have the right of mating. Remember, chemistry live stream will follow after this biology live stream. And if you send any of your questions, I will treat it properly well. So, how does it help? Looking at this, it doesn't help in movement, it doesn't help in nutrition, it doesn't help in growth. So, it helps in mating, making it available, controlling the females. If a man who is hemophilic marries a woman who is a carrier for hemophilia, what percentage of their children will be hemophilic? This is a tricky question that need detailed what? explanation. All right. So remember, hemophilia is a sex-linked character. Hemophilia is a sex-linked character, meaning it has a different pattern of inheritance that is not rhyming with Mendel's laws of what? Inheritance. Let's take a break.
Majestic Tutorials, your free school within school and after school. Your complete online school.
Majestic Tutorials, your free school within school and after school. Your complete online school.
Want to smash JAMB with a high score and earn straight A1 grades in all 9 WAEC subjects? Want admission into medicine and surgery, law,
Pharmacy,
engineering, nursing, architecture, computer science, accounting, dentistry,
medical laboratory science,
and many more lucrative university courses?
Then join Majestic Tutorials on YouTube and across all social media platforms today.
Enjoy world-class lessons in all major art and science subjects, completely free.
Delivered by experienced and renowned tutors. Don't miss our live streams, final revisions,
And exclusive study sessions. Call or WhatsApp +234 706 5166217 to join now.
Majestic Tutorials, where champions are made the majestic way.
The Majestic Periodic Table is here to rescue chemistry students everywhere. Struggling with the periodic table in classrooms, lecture halls, or laboratories? Worry no more. The Majestic Periodic Table has arrived to solve 90% of the confusion students face. This masterpiece behind me is not just a chart, it is also a summarized chemistry textbook packaged into one powerful table. Every element box contains at least 9 key facts, beautifully organized and easy to understand. And yes, it covers the electronic configuration of all 118 elements. The colorful design highlights important trends at a glance, making memorization almost fun. Yes, chemistry can be fun sometimes. It also teaches the basic rules and laws that govern how elements are arranged into groups and periods. So students no longer have to cram what they can simply see with their eyes. Now, here's the exciting part. You can customize your own copy with your name, your school or institution, a friend or loved one's name. Perfect for gifts. It comes in different sizes, different materials, and we deliver anywhere exactly how you want it. The most informative periodic table ever made is finally here. Get yours today and make chemistry bow for you.
Okay, we go back and continue. We are answering 2021 with detailed explanations and then the cheats on how to handle some questions. Remember, in biology, terminology is a problem. So you need science language. Before the exam, if you're following up on the live stream, I'll teach you science languages, like the languages that will help you answer some strange questions, because biology is vast. If you rely on the only thing you know, you might hear a word that you've never met. But because there is a basic language from where sciences are derived, I will teach you. Like if you hear otorhinolaryngology, it sounds like Greek. But because if you know the science language, you wouldn't fear, because oto is ear. Rhino is nose. That animal is called rhinoceros because of the nose it has. Then laryngology is about larynx. So if you know that we are talking about ear, nose, and throat. Okay, so you can also search some of my video for, if you are watching this from Sa Majesty Easy World Science channel, search it. There is a video there on cheats on how to answer strange questions during JAMB. Then if you are on Majestic Tutorials, you can ask me for the link to the video. So we are handling question number 9, which says that if a man, I've read it before, this is all about sex-linked characters. And I told you that it is not business as usual. Why? Because the pattern of inheritance of sex-linked character is quite different from the one predicted by Mendel's laws. Remember, Mendel told us that each character is controlled by a pair, which means like this hemophilia is supposed to be controlled by a pair of genes, maybe something like this, or like this, or equally capital H, small h. But this is not true in the case of hemophilia. So what is a sex-linked character? A sex-linked character is a character, but before then, the answer to this question is obvious, is 50%. So that you can now be patient with the explanation. It's going to be 50% of the offspring that will be hemophilic. All right, that's the cheat, because I've done the multiplying with the crosses with my head, and I know there should be one female that is a sufferer and one male that is also a sufferer out of the 4 possibilities. So we are going to learn that more. But what did I say sex linked characters are? Sex linked. Sex linked. It's not a character that is connected with having sex. No. Sex linked characters or sex linked traits are traits that occur far more frequently in one sex than the other. So, and they are controlled by what? They are controlled by genes found only on X chromosomes. Found only on X chromosomes. So you cannot see them on the Y chromosomes, okay? They are controlled by genes found only on X chromosomes. So they are controlled by genes found only on X chromosomes. I say you cannot find them on Y chromosomes. Because of this, it cannot be transferred from father to son. Did you hear me? Sex-linked traits or sex-linked diseases, sex-linked characters cannot be transferred, cannot be transferred from father to son. Reason is because it's the man that determines the sex of a child. If a man donates Y chromosome, you are a male child. And remember I said that they are not present on Y. So when your father donated Y, you are already a male child, and there is no way he will give it to you. So it has a unique way. Now, let me draw it. Stay on to see a detailed video on this crossing. I want to cross so that you know the answer. This is the man, X, Y. This is the woman. Remember, the question called this woman a carrier. Who is a carrier? Someone that have a defective gene and another normal gene that covers the expression of that defective gene. For instance, if you have this sickle cell gene and you have another normal one making you AS, this person is not a sufferer but a carrier of the sickle cell disease. But when you have the 2 defective genes, the 2 recessive genes, such that there is none to cover you, you become a sufferer. So SS, they are the sicklers, but AS are not just, they are not phenotypically normal. Rather, they are not genetically normal, but they are phenotypically normal. In their gene, they have this sickle cell. So when we say carrier and a hemophilic man, that's a sufferer. Now, the gene for hemophilia, we are going to be using H for inability of the blood to clot. Hemophilia is inability of the blood to clot fast due to deficiency of some blood clotting factors, such as anti-hemophilic factor A and B. So when you don't have enough of this, or when they are not present in you, you will definitely have what? Hemophilia. Small cuts will lead to long or excessive bleeding. That is what we mean by hemophilia. So H should be for hemophilic gene. Then H should be for normal blood clotting. So small h, defective. Then capital H is for normal blood clotting. So what am I going to do? Since this man is a sufferer, it simply means that he have only but this defective gene, small h. Remember, genes do not occur in pair. It cannot have another one here because I told you there are genes located only on X but absent on Y. So it occurs singly in males. Sex-linked genes or sex-linked characters occur singly and not in pairs as predicted by the law, Mendel's laws, that each character is controlled by a pair. So let's move on. This woman is a carrier, which means that one will be normal. She inherited one normal gene from one parent and then inherited abnormal gene from another parent. This person is a carrier. Why? She will have normal blood clotting because there is a normal healthy gene that will provide the clotting factor. But this young man have only one defective and nothing will cover him. So this person will bleed too much on a slight cut. Let us cross it. Remember, this is a sufferer. Okay? This is the defective X from the man. What will he give us? X, and this person is a carrier. This is a female, a carrier. Then this person also, who is this person? This is the unfortunate person, because she collected the defective gene from the father and collected again from the mother, and therefore this person is a sufferer. This person is a carrier, not a sufferer, but this one is a sufferer. Then we come to Y. This time around is for male children, because for the man to donate Y, the sex of the baby is automatically male. So in an exam, who determines the sex of the child? The father only. Okay? So in this case, this is X. This is the normal H from the mother. So this young man is normal. He's not hemophilic, because he inherited the normal gene from the mother. So, and now what else? And finally, this young man here inherited the defective H from the father, from the mother, sorry. So this person now is, this is a sufferer. This is a hemophilic child. This is also hemophilic child. And how many children do we have? How many sample spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of these 4, 2 are the hemophilic children. So 2 over 4 is the same thing as half. And the half means 50%, because percent means divide by 100. So 50 divided by 100 is half. So the percentage of their children that will be hemophilic is 50%. All right, make sure to click the like button, share this live stream, and remember to join in next Friday and come with your questions. +234 7065 166217. If you need private tutoring one-on-one to get you ready to score highest, Majestic Tutorials or Some Majesties will have it anyway. So it's better for someone that cooks to teach you how to cook than someone that just read it on the book. Okay, so let's go back and continue. We are checking the time. The other side, we have live stream for 32 minutes. We are ending in 45 minutes. And the other side, about 31 minutes. So there is 1 minute difference. So number 9 has been handled. They say, which of the following is an internal condition necessary for seed germination? Internal condition. Adequate temperature. Adequate temperature is not internal. That's the environmental factors, okay? Some of you that are live, give this video a thumbs up. Like this if you are learning. Then B says water. Water is external, not internal. Seed viability, correct. Is the seed that is alive that will germinate. All right? So give this video a thumbs up and share it on your social media platform, on your WhatsApp status. Let your friends know that we are doing, that our live stream comes every Friday by 8. All right? Let's thank you for the liking. Like and share. Share it. Let people know about this. Draw from the well and let others also draw. So viability means being alive and healthy. So in the presence of other factors necessary for germination, is presence of oxygen or presence of air, moisture, then optimum temperature. These are the external factors. But when all these factors are present and the seed itself is not viable, the seed is not viable. Thank you, guys. You share it. Let them know that something is happening at Majestic Tutorial, that something is happening at Some Majesty Easy World. So I went live on 2 of my channel. I'm transmitting on both sides. This is the first time I'm doing that, okay? And I think I'm very happy for that. So now air is oxygen. These are external factors, all right? Then number 11 says an example of animals that estivate during unfavorable condition is lizard, grasshopper, snail, and then this is none. Estivation is adaptation for organisms, like when the weather is hot. what they do is they estivate. Those organisms that you don't see in the hot weather, but you see them when the weather is cold, we say they estivate. But those organisms that you don't see when the weather, during rainy season, when the weather is or the environment is warm, I mean when the environment is cold and moist, we say they hibernate. So when it's cold and moist, they look for somewhere that is a bit hot to hibernate. But like snails, the only thing is that snails, some species of snail hibernate, some species of snail also estivates. But giant land snail, the one we know, that's the Achatina species. Do we see them more in the rainy season or in the dry season? It is obvious it is in the rainy season that we see snails. So in the dry season, they seal epimysium. They have something they used to seal and enter into dormant, inactive stage. All right, so snail should be the appropriate answer here, but I'm trying to let you know that snails also have, oh, love from India. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. No problem. You share this video. Thank you all the way from India. I really appreciate. Indians are very nice people. They are, at least they boosted internet. I love them. I love you guys. At least my initial channel, the Indians helped me to build it, so I cannot joke with them. They are highly academic. So I'm even live streaming for Nigerians, and you are there benefiting. So thank you for that. Now I'm saying that in the rainy season we hardly see we see the snails, but in dry season we don't see them. So snails estivate; they don't hibernate. If you are live, remember this comes every Friday. Okay, both in chemistry and biology. Then with time we will add other subjects. Okay, to prepare you. Now, I've answered that that should be snail. They said number 12 is a visual impaired man marries a normal woman and have 4 children. How many? No, today. Okay, tomorrow is your own chemistry exam. Okay, no problem. I will do chemistry today also. So let's move on. It said a visual impaired man marries a normal woman and have 4 children. How many of their children will be blind? 0. This is trying to distinguish between acquired trait inheritance, which was proposed by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck and was debunked by the theory of the continuity of the germ plasm by August Weismann. So, being visually impaired, although the question is ambiguous anyway, but when they told us 4 children, we should even think of color blindness because they did not mention the sex of the children. If they were specific about the sex, we can now go back and think of the so-called sex links, like I told you. Remember, hemophilia is not the only sex link character. But here, they just said 4 children. So, the visual impairment is not genetical. It is acquired, it is environmental effect, and is not going to be transferred to the subsequent generation. All right? So, acquired characters are not heritable. Rather, it is the characters that are contained in your genotype that are heritable. If you don't have hand, your children will have hand. That is full hand. Thank you for that for the question. If a man is amputated, all his children will be very much with well-developed hand, because the amputation is environmentally influenced. It is not genetically influenced. Do you get me? So the same thing is happening here. Remember, this was Lamarck's defense. It's a fallacy that Lamarck told us on trying to explain evolution. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so this was Lamarck's hallucination that that acquired characters are heritable, but I am telling you it is not true. Acquired characters cannot be transferred. It is genetic characters that can be transferred from parents to offspring. In fact, August Wisman's experiment was to bring a mouse, don't mind my agreement in number. He brought two mice, male and female mouse, and rendered them tailless, cut their tails, and allowed them to mate. They all have tail offspring. From one generation to the next, they keep on coming on with what? Tail. Now, we move on. Which of the following is correct regarding in vitro fertilization? In vitro is a science language that we should master. In vitro means happening outside the body. How is it related to germ cells and somatic cells? Okay, I'll come back to that. Good. I'll come back to that, my Indian friend. Which of the following is correct regarding in vitro? In vitro is a science language which means happening outside the body. In vitro, outside the body. While inside the body or within the body is called in vivo. Anything in vitro, outside the body. In vivo, inside. So natural fertilization that happens in the upper part of the fallopian tube, it is in vivo fertilization. But when the egg is extracted from the woman and placed in an artificial environment, then mixed with sperm, maybe that have been washed and selected, and the fertilization occurs outside the female body, outside the body, we now call it in vitro fertilization. Then after that in vitro fertilization, it is either they follow it with zift or gift. Zift or gift. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. Zygote intrafallopian transfer or gamete intrafallopian transfer. But after fertilization, it should be zygote intrafallopian transfer, because when fertilization occurs, it gives rise to a zygote. So the question number 13 says, it is, which of the following is correct regarding in vitro fertilization? A, it requires only a male parent. No. You must collect the two sex cells from both parents. B says sperm is not required. No, sperm is required, only that it is happening outside the body. C, during in vitro fertilization, mature eggs are collected from ovaries and fertilized by sperm in the laboratory, and laboratory is not inside your body. So the correct answer is C. It's even obvious. It's the option that is very long. Then this says it always produces identical twins. No, it is not clones. In vitro fertilization doesn't mean asexual reproduction. It is still sexual. All right? The law of dominance, that's Mendeleev's law. Our time is up. So the law of dominance is just like some characters are expressed in the presence of another character. So a character that is expressed in the presence of another character is said to exhibit dominance, because they have the gene that are stronger to be expressed than the gene they control, or the protein they control. The protein synthesis they control are expressed stronger than their counterparts. So dominant genes are genes that masks or covers the expression of another gene. All right, you say, how does this a visual impaired man connect with germ somatic cells and okay, you're welcome, we are welcome, thank you so much too. How does it connect germ sites and germ cells and somatic cell? You know, we have germ plasm and somatoplasm. That's the germ cells, which is the sex cells. So this visual impairment is something that occurred on the somatic cell, and when any change occurs on the somatic cell, it cannot be transferred from parents to offspring, because during reproduction, what the parent gives to their children is the sex cell, which is the germ plasm. So this particular question 12 do not affect the sex cell. All right, so for now we have tried for today, but we might take another question before we go off. Okay, Namdi, you're welcome. We are going to be entering biology, but before then,
watch this advert. Buy from me, I equip laboratory, standard laboratory. I give you trusted reagent because my scientists look only medical equipment. Thank you. Your patronage is needed.
Looking for experts in building and equipping standard science laboratories? Need reliable surgical or hospital equipment? Easy World Science and Surgical Supplies Limited is your best choice for quality and excellence. We provide professional construction of standard science laboratories, high quality laboratory equipment and reagents, durable surgical and hospital equipment, timely delivery of exactly the quality you request, expert guidance to assist you with any experiment of equipment usage, the scientific stay safe, choose equipment and reagents that guarantee results and protect your health. Contact Easy World Science and Surgical Supplies Limited today. Majestic, reliable, affordable. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Someone just came in as the advert is going on. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain. You just come back in 5 minutes time so that we take off for what you're going to see now on the screen. The next should be chemistry questions. At least let's take account of where we stopped for this biology. Last time we took 18 questions, and today we are able to cover. Remember, it's not just the answering, it is the explanation that matters. You have this past question, but you don't have these explanations I'm giving you, which will help you to answer other questions subsequently. Today we stopped at question number 13. So 18 plus 13 giving us at least we have 31 if I'm not mistaken, but the aim is to cover about 500 questions. For us to do this, we must do more live stream frequently, but it is your attendance that will encourage me to do that. So if you are watching this now, you simply share this and give it a thumbs up and ask your questions. It is nice having you guys around in this live stream. See you next week in the day 3 of our 500 questions journey before this JAMB examination. Much love.